Guys, so we're going to talk to you about some cornering today. We're going to talk to you about cornering today. So say you got your big wheel, right? And you really want to go fast. And you got that over 60 mile an hour capable wheel. But the only thing is that it's ridiculously heavy. And I've seen all sorts of interesting strategies when it comes to handling these things and when it comes to turning these things. The unfortunate thing about all of the strategies that I've seen is that they're picked from other sports that have either more tires or just different dynamics entirely the way that they handle. For instance, I see a lot of people try to use pucks on their hands. That is novel and it looks cool. The only thing is when you're using those pucks, it takes weight out of acceleration. When you drop down 100% down to the inside, the puck is not actually acting as a brake, okay? When longboarders are using those pucks actually act as a brake because they are under perpetual sliding duress. Okay, they're perpetually accelerating in a downhill scenario. They also are getting a lot lower to the ground than we are. So the amount of downforce that it takes for them to be able to brake, to be able to sustain what it is that they're doing, they're having to literally like lay on their sides in order to like make this happen. Don't do that. I know it looks cool to people. Your goal is not to drop your weight 100% sideways when you're accelerating, okay? Your goal is to maintain a solid lean and an angular attack forward, leveraging forward in front of the wheel to whichever side that you're trying to turn. You're not dropping your weight entirely sideways. So pucks, no, those come from the longboards, and the angle of attack is again completely all wrong. Trying to get as low as a longboard with a center of gravity as high as an electric unicycle, the way that the friction on those tires work, way different than what we experience on motorcycle grade tires. So again, don't do that. Okay, pucks, no. The next thing that I see that people do, I see them do the knee drop, okay? They hang over the side and they try to do that motorcycle knee drop and they want to slide on their knees now. Again, this is derived from a sport with a very different mechanic than what we have going on inside of electric unicycles. When you hang over the edge like that, when you're hanging over the edge, you're putting a lot of friction on the wheel to want to push itself out. Okay, you're now putting all of the friction of the turn into you trying to leverage yourself down with your knee. Okay, so just imagine this. The force that you put down with your knee is going to be met with an upward force. That upward force is going onto the bottom of the electric unicycle, to the tire, okay? So that does not work either, unless you have two wheels, in which case you can slide the back end. Don't get me wrong. It looks cool. It looks incredibly cool. InMotion loves how cool that looks, but it's a fait accompli. It does not work. I mean, actually, it does work. It does work. You can do any number of things, but if you want the physics correct, best possible way to turn a heavy wheel, I'm about to show you. So I went for a ride with my buddy Aaron the other day, and when I went for that ride, I went on one of my last rides on the Challenger. I wanted to demonstrate some of the turning strategies that I've pioneered in order to make this a lot easier for you. So right now, we just got done at the Overlook. Aaron and I got done at the Overlook, and so we're just kind of cruising back. We're on the Hawthorne Trail right now, and I'm just getting kind of a feel for my legs a little bit, deciding exactly when I want to kind of turn on the afterburners, as it were. But you'll see I start swaying side to side, getting a feel for how the tire feels with the weather outside like it is, because, you know, the temperature goes up or down, then the tire pressure changes a little bit, which is one of the reasons why one of those tire pressure monitors wouldn't be a bad idea. But always think about your tire pressure when you're turning, okay? And if you got an air suspension like what I have on the Challenger, then you want to think about your air suspension pressure when you're turning. The mechanics change a little bit. Well, they can change drastically depending on how much air you got in there. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the turning strategy that most people have, which is this right here, okay? We're doing just a nice little lean. We start with the head, we're turning the shoulders, we turn the chest, we turn the hips, and the wheel follows in kind. We're not having to dig too far down into the turn in order to make it happen because it was a broad turn. The pedals are about 2 inches off of the ground at that point in time. We're not dramatizing anything, but you'll start to see here the strategy, okay? What I do is we shift the weight from the top of the wheel, okay? So that way you're not slinging the weight through the bottom of the tire. So what we're doing is we're pushing the wheel from the back end, okay, I call it a little pet slap, okay? So a little ping pong action there. So side to side ping pong action. But what happens is we force the angle of the wheel really quickly. And what that does is it makes it to where you don't have to lean and throw your body weight to make that happen. The wheel is just gonna lean. So any weight that you don't have to throw against the friction of the tire is good. If you have to throw weight against the friction of the tire, then you're going to lose forward momentum in your friction. You want that friction line not to be going out of the circle of your turn, but to be going forward. If you drop your knee, you do the puck, any of those strategies, your weight is now going out. You're not going forward anymore. You don't want it to go out of the circle. You want it to go tangential to the circle. That's the way that you want your turn strategy to work. So you'll see now with the pet ping pong slap, I'm able to shift the weight of the vehicle without putting any friction down into the tire, without changing the friction load at all. So as soon as I change the pitch of the tire, now we have our turn initiated, okay? And from there, I just have to nurse how aggressively that pitch happens. So all of my weight is now forward. You see that my head is forward. You see that my hand is indicative of where my weight is at a nice little 45-degree angle up and off to the front side. That keeps my momentum going the entire time. I have to slow down a little bit for my cameraman here, but you'll see again, I'm reaching with my free arm to the direction that I want to turn, okay? And I'm leaning, looking the direction that I want to go, okay? The main thing that happens is as I initiate the turn, I'm dropping my weight. Okay, I'm dropping my weight down as if almost to sit, and then I'm pushing sideways. The drop down makes more downforce for the turn. Pushing sideways makes it to where that you're not using any skidding, any sliding leverage to try to turn. Again, dropping your knee is going to engage that sliding mechanic. And you do not want to slide when you have one wheel. You want to keep as much traction as you can on your goal. Your goal is to go forward. Your goal is to not go sideways outside of the turn. Okay, so when you get that heavy wheel, and you feel like it's impossible, just come back, check out the video here, okay? It's really not that hard. Start nice and slow. If you haven't figured out how to do the turns where you're turning your head side to side, and then you're turning a little bit at a time, just shifting the direction of the wheel like this, if we're not doing that yet, then this is probably a little bit of an advanced technique. But once you get to soft leaning and you're doing those nice soft leaning turns and you want to get into more aggressive turning, or if you are very, very light and you find your new Master Pro, your new ET Max, your new GT Pro, your new Challenger, your new EX30, you find any of these wheels just a little bit too heavy for you. And typically the math for that is going to be if it's over 50% of your body weight, if it's over 50% of your body weight, it's going to require a little bit more leverage than you're going to want to throw down into the tire. Because again, leaning hard into the tire without dropping your body weight creates a coefficient of friction that goes out of the circle of your turn. You do not want to do the puck or the knee when you have these heavy wheels, okay? All right, guys, later. Oh, so that's the end of the video there. When you're turning, again, you don't want to do that puck or that knee. Okay, again, it looks cool, but for what we're doing, it's just not practical. The power slides, those are fun on dirt tracks, right? Those are fun on small trails when you have like roots and leaves and stuff like that. When the wheel is at a third, no more than 50%, but right at about a third of your body weight, you're really going to be able to have a lot of fun with flicking that wheel around and being able to do like power slides in dirt and stuff like that, okay? But at over 50% of your body weight, it's just becoming very difficult and you're almost no longer driving the wheel. The wheel is driving you. So stop trying to force the wheel with you, right? Forcing the wheel with you and start trying to finesse the wheel with itself, you know, that ping pong technique. So anyway, no, it was a little long-winded, and I hope this helps, guys. Know that you can actually handle the ever-loving rocket out of your new toy. Okay, you can actually do that. So, thanks for stopping in, and we'll chat soon.